back to my channel. My name is Naomi Rook. If you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to ring the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I do upload a video. Today, what I wanted to do is testing new makeup. I bought some products at Walmart. I also got some for Valentine's Day from Ulta. My fiance bought me some products. So I did pick up the ProFusion. This is the Desert Sage. I've heard some mixed feelings about this palette. The pan sizes are a little bit different, but the color story is stunning. So when I saw this, I definitely wanted to pick it up and try to see if I liked the formula. I do loved their Love You So Brunch little palette that came out with last spring. So I definitely wanted to pick this up. I also picked up one of their new blushes. This is the Blush Hour Soft Matte Liquid Blush. I have this in Rosé. This reminds me a lot of the Shein component. I picked up the Revolution Super Dewy Skin Tint Tinted Moisturizer. And then I also got the Morphe Filter Effect Soft Radiant Concealer. Really excited to try this one out. Got the Revolution SuperFix Super Hold Mist. And I got the Yenza. This is the Essential Glow Tone Up Primer. I did try some SheGlam. I got one of their sponges and one of their duo lips. This is the Glam 101. It is a lipstick and lip liner. Also tried out the Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara. So if you'd like to see these products in action and how I created this look, then go ahead and keep watching. Let's get her done. Eyebrows are done. My eyelids are primed. So we're going to hop into the ProFusion. This is the Desert Sage. This is the 25 shade palette. I really love the color story of this palette. I've definitely heard some people really dislike the layout. I don't really like the pan size either. I think the colors are stunning. I think this glitter in here is really beautiful. So I figured I would go ahead and play with it. When I first saw this online, I thought it was just absolutely beautiful. The color story really spoke to me, so I definitely wanted to try it out. Today I'm going to do a really smoky eye using some of these mattes and then probably like that shimmer, maybe some glitter. We'll see. I'm going to hop in with my Blend Bunny, the B5. And I'm going to go into this really nice matte color and blow that out into the crease. I have used ProFusion's eyeshadows. I have the Love You So Brunch palette, which is a super cute palette. So when I saw that they came out with this really cute kind of flower themed, I thought it was stunning. I wanted to try out the formula just to see if it was like the Love You So Brunch. I really did like that palette a lot. There are a few duds in that palette, so I wanted to see if there are a few duds in this one or if they were all pretty consistent in formula. This is the third time using this palette. I have used the greens, I have used the pinks. So far about half the palette has worked out for me. I do really like the matte and all the greens. The pinks were a little bit more lackluster. Next, I'm going to jump into this matte brown. I'm going to do a halo eye, so I'm going to put that out here, kind of bring it out a little bit. And then I'm going to take that into the inner corner. And excuse my voice, I cannot beat this cold. It is lingering so much, so it's quite annoying. My voice sounds weird. I definitely feel better than I did, but now my voice sounds all funky. So I do apologize. I was going to wait to film, but I decided I just needed to do it, and that you guys would probably forgive my funky sounding voice. I'm going to go in with that lighter matte color and blend out this a little bit, just kind of soften the edges just a tiny bit. Next, I'm going to add some of this really pretty yellow. I'm taking that right above the colors I've already applied, kind of just blending that out very gently. Next, I'm going to take B4 and I'm going to go into this dark matte kind of maroon color. I'm going to darken the outer corner and the inner corner a little bit closer to my lash line. I'm going to go ahead and take the bigger blending brush and just blend all of that together. Next, I'm going to go into the green metallic. I'm going to use my finger and just tap that onto the middle of my lid. This is completely dry. I want to see how much pigment I can get from it without wetting a brush or wetting my finger. I'm going to take that all the way past the crease. Next, I'm going to tap this taupe color on top. That one is a tad bit more chunky, but that metallic is so reflective. That one is stunning. It looks wet on the lid. I really like that one. The green color wasn't quite as metallic. It definitely had a beautiful sheen. This taupe color is stunning. It looks wet, super impactful. That is gorgeous. That color looks so pretty. I love how that turned out. I'm going to go back into that darker matte and I'm going to blend out the edges of this color just to kind of mesh it all together so there are no harsh lines. I'm going to wet my finger, go into that taupe color, tap a little bit more on top. That is so pretty. Alright, so there is the finished eyeshadow look. I really like how it turned out. The metallics are really pretty. The mattes blended really well. Next, I'm going to do wing liner. I'm going to use the Estate liner. I don't know anything about this brand. I did receive this in my BoxyCharm. This is a felt tip liner. It is not a brush liner. It is super black, really super pigmented. I normally use brush tips, so I'm not sure how I'm going to like the felt tip, but I figured we would go ahead and try it out. I haven't used a ton of different liners. I'm pretty excited to use this one. I'm going to go ahead and do my liner. I can't talk, so I'll just speed through this really quick. Alright, there is the wing liner, super pigmented and black, really matte. I didn't find that it was difficult to use. I really liked it. I find that I've had a lot of fallout from those eyeshadows. I have glitter kind of all over my face. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that all up, and then we will go ahead and continue on with makeup. The eyes are done. I'm going to hop in with primer. I'm going to use the Yenza. This is the Essential Glow Tone Up Primer. It says the Superfood Cosmetics moisturize and prep skin for makeup, blurs imperfection and pores, provides brighter skin tone powered by 8 Super Blacks Essence. It's almost the color of skin tone. I don't know if it's going to blend out or give any coverage, so let's go ahead and apply that. I've used this one other time. I did get this in my BoxyCharm, but I don't really have any thoughts on the product yet. Feels super smooth on the skin. Not silicone-y, not sticky, kind of just a little bit glidey and smooth, kind of like a moisturizer. Alright, there is that primer. It definitely added a luminosity to my skin. Feels really hydrating. It's not super sticky or anything. I don't find that it does kind of look like it blurred my pores just a little bit, like right here. It definitely looks a little bit smoother. I should have primed half of my face and then done the other side so I could really see the difference. But I do think it did kind of perfect a little bit. Hydrated. Looks nice. So I'm excited about that primer. Next, for foundation, I'm going to use the Revelution Super Dewy Skin Tint. This is in light. It is a tinted moisturizer. It has lightweight tinted moisturizer. Gives the skin a radiant, dewy finish enriched with berry extract. So I'm excited to try this. It does it with a squeezy tube and a pump. I'm going to go ahead and shake this up, and then just apply it to half my face so we can kind of see what type of coverage it will give me. Light, looks really light, but we will see. I don't think it has a ton of coverage because it is a tinted moisturizer. So I'm going to use my sponge. This is actually a Shein sponge. I wanted to try out their sponges. I heard really good things about them. So let's go ahead and see how much coverage this gives me. The sponge feels really nice, super soft. I don't like how the sponge applied it. I barely see anything on my skin, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with a brush because I did not get any coverage whatsoever. So I want to see if I can actually get any coverage from this or if there's just no coverage whatsoever. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take some on the other side because I got a little bit too much now. Definitely prefer with a brush. Did not look good with a sponge, or at least that sponge did not work at all for this type of product. I don't think I'm going to like this very much. I've used that primer before, so I don't think it is the primer. The primer worked really well last time. I just don't think it has any coverage whatsoever, and where it is covering, it is looking really heavy. Alright, so there is the skin. I guess I could try to build it up just a little bit to see if I can even cover the redness on my cheeks. And then I'm going to go in with my brush and just use stippling motions. I'm not going to like blend it around. I just want to stipple it right into place. I'm switching brushes because I just want to make sure it's not the brush and that it is actually the product. I just don't like how this looks. This is looking very heavy with very, very minimal coverage. It's not looking great around my nose, and it's definitely not covering any of the redness on my cheeks. So I do not think I'm going to be a huge fan of the Super Dewy Skin Tint from Revelution. I will continue to use it, but so far, my first impressions, I do not like how this looks on my skin. Very patchy, little heavy, no coverage, and it does not look super like dewy or anything. Next, for concealer, I'm going to go into the Morphe. This is the new Filter Effect Soft Radiant Concealer. I really wanted to try this. I haven't seen anyone use this. I did get this in light for warm. It is a warm undertone. I normally go for neutral, but the one I wanted, they were out. So I figured I would go ahead and try this one. It does have a little paddle applicator. I'm just going to apply it where I normally would, right under my eyes. A little bit right there. Definitely a yellow undertone, but it is light enough. I think it'll probably work. And because this is a medium coverage, more radiant concealer, I am going to go ahead and let it sit for about 30 seconds, and then I'm going to blend out just so I can kind of get the max coverage. I like to do that a lot with most of my concealers. I'll let them sit, dry down a little bit, and I get more coverage from them. I'm going to go ahead and hop in with my sponge on this side and blend this out. This is my first Morphe complexion product. I haven't tried any of their foundations or concealers yet, but I was really excited to try this one out. It looked like something I would definitely be into. So it is definitely radiant. It has a really pretty radiant finish to the skin. This side sat for a little bit longer, so let's see if I got a little bit more coverage. You can tell I definitely got more coverage on this side that sat a little bit longer. This is definitely a concealer you could let sit for probably up to a minute. Let it really dry down and get great coverage. It does look really nice. Looks luminous. It doesn't look super heavy under my under eyes. I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit more, let it sit so I can get as much coverage on this side as I have on that side. So far, this concealer is looking really pretty. It has a nice luminous, radiant type finish. It does have a good amount of coverage once you let it sit down and really just kind of dry down just a little bit and then blend it out. You get good coverage. It looks really nice. I do wish it was more of a neutral tone, but it's not super yellow, like I can't wear it. So it does work out pretty well. So yeah, that looks really nice. I'm pretty excited about that concealer. Next, I do have another product from Revelution. This is their Eyebrow Illuminating Concealer. I loved this concealer for a very long time. So I did want to get a color that was going to work for cream bronzing. So I did get this in Deep Caramel. It's a dark neutral undertone. So I really wanted to try this out. It says to shake really well. I think this is going to make a beautiful liquid bronzer because their concealer is just stunning. So I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit. This is my second time using this as a bronzer, so I'm just going to apply a little bit there and a little bit right there. I use my more flat, dense brush. This is a Wet n Wild brush. I'm going to go ahead and tap that product out and kind of just blend it upward. So that definitely looks a little bit more pigmented than the concealer. I like the tone. It might be a little bit too dark for me, but it does seem to be blending pretty nicely. It looks pretty nice, so let's go ahead and apply just a tiny bit up on my forehead. I don't want to use too much. And I'm going to go ahead and tap this out with my sponge to see how that blends. Alright, so there is that. I don't know if that's going to be my absolute favorite. I definitely have liquid bronzers I like a little bit better. I will continue to use that. The color was really great. Maybe I'll apply just like a little bit more. It kind of blended away just a little bit. I do think I like blending it with the sponge versus the brush. Alright, next I want to move on to blush. I do have a new ProFusion blush. This is the Blush Hour Cosmetics. It's a soft matte liquid blush. I have this in Rosé. So it comes in this really pretty little component. It reminds me a lot of the Shein blushes. So I'm going to go ahead and shake this. I have the same dispenser as the Shein blush. It's a really pretty kind of a light corally color. So there is Rosé. So I'm going to go ahead and just tap that onto my cheeks. I use a little dual fiber brush just to blend that in. So this blush does blend out really nice. It looks luminous when you apply it, but it does dry down to a more matte finish. It does leave a good amount of color on your cheeks. Really pretty, like how it looks, like the color. The finish is stunning. Once it dries down, it is a really soft matte. And I think that is absolutely beautiful. I really like the dispenser, the little sponge applicator, and just dotting on made it super easy. I want to apply just a tiny bit to my nose. Next, I'm going to powder. I'm going to go in with my Jeffree Star powder. I'm going to tap out any type of creases I have. I did pick up some of these applicators off of Shein. They're like that velvety. I wanted to see, I've heard a lot about how these apply powder a lot better. I'm going to do the powder how I always do it. On one side, I'm going to use my small tapered powder brush from ProFusion, and I'm going to just tap that in, tap it off, and then just apply a small layer onto my under eyes. And then on the other side, I'm going to go ahead and apply it with the kind of powder sponge. I'm going to tap some of it off so I don't get too much. And then I'm going to kind of just press that into my under eyes. That definitely left a very smooth appearance to my skin. I don't know if you can definitely see a difference from this side to this side. That worked pretty well. I feel like I need to brighten my under eyes. I'm going to go into my Jaclyn Cosmetics Brightening Palette. I'm going to use the two brightest colors and really tap that into my skin using this sponge. Alright, so there's that and how the powder looks. The concealer with that powder looks really nice and flawless. I wish it had a tiny bit more coverage. Had I let it sit for even longer, I think it would look even better. But I do really like how that looks. Next, I'm going to hop in with a little bit more powder bronzer. I'm going to go in with my Dull Beauty. This is Gimme Sun. This is in the light. There's a bronzer. It has a really great neutral undertone. It is matte. I really do like this bronzer. So I'm going to hop in with my Dewy tools. This is the 990 angled face brush. And then I'm just going to bronze up my face. Bronze up my neck a little bit. I really like this bronzer. It is a really nice matte, just neutral bronzer that looks really nice on the cheeks. Blends in really well. It doesn't look heavy or cakey. Just a really nice bronzer, not too powdery. My skin definitely does not look dewy using that skin tint. I would not call that dewy at all. Actually, my face looks pretty matte, and I did not powder like down here or anything. The only place I put powder was my under eyes. So for only putting powder on my under eyes, I am looking pretty matte. I'm going to go ahead and spray down my face before I use highlighter. I got the Revelution SuperFix Super Hold Misting Spray. It has a really nice spray, so I'm going to go ahead and apply that all over my face. That spray had a really nice spray. It was a tad bit intense. The smell's a little strong, but so far I do like it. I'll see once it dries down. It's supposed to be more of a matte finish, but I do like how it kind of just meshes all the powders. Really makes them look like skin. So I'm going to go into the Dull Lights like a diamond highlighter. I've only used this a few times. I did use it in my full face of Dull Beauty. So I want to go ahead and apply that to my cheeks. I'm going to try to do it a little bit more gently. The last time I applied this, it was definitely very, very intense. So I figured if I apply a little lighter, softer layer, that I think I'd probably like a little bit more. There's a highlighter. I don't think I like this highlighter. It just does not look smooth or skin-like. It looks just kind of heavy. It doesn't blend into the skin. It really just kind of sits on top of it. It's a little light for me. I just don't think I really am in love with that highlighter. It looks very pretty on camera, but in person it just looks a little heavy. Alright, I curled my lashes. I have a new mascara to try. This is the Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara. Comes in a very large gold tube. The brush is pretty substantial. It's quite large. There's a ton of bristles. Looks like the brush is really coated with mascara, so I'm thinking this is going to be kind of a more wet formula. So let's go ahead and apply it to my lashes and see how I like it. I definitely prefer a lengthening mascara that doesn't clump up too much, doesn't add tons of volume. I don't really care about volume. I really want that length and separation. It is kind of separating. It's not adding tons of clumps. Alright, so there is one layer of the mascara. I do really like how that looks. I don't know how it's going to wear, if it's going to flake or smudge. Those are the worst parts of mascara. But it does look like it's coating my lashes pretty well. You can definitely see them from far away. I like how that looks. So there is one eye done. I normally put about 1 to possibly 2, but I'm going to leave it at this. I think it looks nice. Right, there is that mascara. Depending on how this wears, I really like how it looks. It definitely darkened, lengthened, separated, makes my lashes look pretty intense. So next I do want to apply a little bit of mascara to my lower lash line. I'm going to go in with this dark matte. I'm going to apply that to half of my lower lash line, just kind of blow it out a little bit. I'm going to apply like a diamond to my inner corner just to bring it all together. That makes a gorgeous inner corner. I don't like it very much for a face highlight, but that inner corner, that is stunning. From SheGlam, I did get the Glam 101 Lipstick and Liner Duo. This is in Soft Chai. I've seen people use this a lot, so I wanted to go ahead and try it out. So there is a liner on one side and a lipstick on the other. I'll do swatches. So there is the liner, and then on the other side is a lipstick. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and apply the liner now. That liner is super creamy, very pigmented. I do like how that went on. Next, I'm going to go in with the lipstick side. I'm really excited to try this out. Oh, that is a pretty color. The lipstick is definitely creamier than the lip liner. I'm going to go in with the liner side and just touch up just a little bit more. So there is a lip combination. I really like how that looks. The lipstick is very creamy, definitely creamier than the liner. I like the combination of the two. I think that's pretty. I'm going to spray my face a little bit more with setting spray. Here is the finished look. I love how it turned out. I think it's super pretty. I thought we would go ahead and go over the products that I tried out. My first initial thoughts on the products and which ones I would definitely suggest skipping, which ones need a little bit more time for me to really get some thoughts on it, and the products that I loved the very first try. We'll go ahead and start with the Yenza Essential Glow Primer. I did like it. I thought it looked really nice. It doesn't add an intense amount of glow or hydration, but I did think it looked nice. It did add a little bit of kind of smoothing aspect to my skin. I thought that looked nice. It's Super Dewy Revolution Skin Tint. This is probably the biggest disappointment of the day. My skin looks really dry up close. It doesn't look very pretty. It doesn't look nice. It looks pretty heavy, which for as much setting spray as I use, I did not use very much powder at all. I don't really think I'm going to love this. I will definitely use it again, but I don't think it's going to be my favorite. It just kind of looks a little heavy. The color is definitely a little too light as well. ProFusion Desert Sage. I know a lot of people dislike the shape of the pan. I really like the color story, though it's super, super pretty. I've now used probably 75% of this palette. I really do like the colors. There is a ton of glitter fallout on my cheeks, though, so I would definitely highly suggest with this palette to use a glitter glue. Normally I do use a glitter glue, but I wanted to see how it was going to perform without one, and I have a ton of glitter on my cheeks, but I did do my eyes first, so it's just kind of fallen since I've done my foundation. But I think the color story is really pretty. I think the front of the palette is really pretty. I do think the formula is nice. Some of them definitely don't work as well as others. Like this pink one right here was definitely a kind of a dud color, but really pretty palette, and I do like the look I created today. The eyeliner from Estate was really dark, matte, and black. I liked it a lot. It worked on really easy. I normally use the brush tip. This is a felt tip, but I did like it so far. Next is the Stila mascara. I really like this mascara. I like how it looks. It is not clumpy or really heavy on my lashes. It just coats them really nice, separated. This is a surprise. I haven't used anything from Stila in quite some time, and I do really like this. I think I'm going to like the Morphe concealer. It has a nice luminous finish. It does have a medium coverage. You can definitely let it sit and kind of dry down a little bit, and you'll get fuller coverage. It looks nice under the eyes, so I definitely don't have anything to complain about. Color Light 4 was definitely a little yellow, but it did work out for me. The Revelution Eyebrow that I used for my liquid bronzer, I don't know if I'm going to love this formula for a bronzer. Sadly, I really love it for a concealer. I think it's absolutely stunning. It seems a little trickier to work with. It has a bit more coverage. I'm not sure if I'm going to love that. I will definitely continue using that to see if it's going to work for me, but I'm not sure if I'm going to absolutely love it. I love the Doll Beauty Gimme Sun Bronzer. I think it is a really great neutral matte bronzer. And then the Doll Beauty Like a Diamond Highlighter. I don't think this is my absolute favorite. It looks heavy on the skin. It's a little bit too light for me. I do really like it for an inner corner. I think it's absolutely stunning. But other than for the inner corner, I'm just not a huge fan of it all over the face. And then the Glam 101 lipstick and liner. I really like the formula. I like that it comes with a lipstick and liner that coordinate, but they are not the same. The lipstick is all lighter. The lipstick is very creamy. It feels really nice on the lips. The liner was really nice as well. Went on super creamy and easily. I'm gonna really like that. So there are all the products that I tested out and my first initial thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video testing out new products, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye guys.